just introducing you to this guy before I get to the meat of the sandwich. So this is just so that you know what he's talking about. So Brad Little is the governor of Idaho. He's the 33rd governor, in fact. And he's been the governor since 2019. He's a member of the Republican Party, 42nd Lieutenant Governor of Idaho. Okay. So he was the governor before that, but he was the lieutenant governor. I don't know the difference. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. And he was the Idaho State governor before that. So Little's been in power for a little while. I don't know what any of this means. I just don't know much about all this business. Idaho Senate, Lieutenant Governor and all that. Please feel free to explain if anybody does. But he, interestingly, was a graduate of University of Idaho. He earned a Bachelor's of Science in 1976. Involved in public service since 1980. Butch Otter, I just want to say Butch Otter really. In 2009, Governor Butch Otter appointed Little to the office of Lieutenant Governor after the previous Lieutenant Governor, Jim Risch, resigned to become a United States Senator. After Otter declined to run for a fourth term, Little ran for governor. I don't know if we've got anything. Went to Emmett High School in Idaho. Of course, he was part of a fraternity, the Phi Delta Theta fraternity, no less. And he earned a BS in agribusiness. An extensive dual career, tending to his family's ranching interests. His grandfather was the Idaho Sheep King. Little represented his father, David Little, in the Senate. Little Land and Livestock, the 3 L's. So he managed Little Land and Livestock for 30 years. And then he continued to work as the head of Little Enterprises, Inc., a diversified farming and cattle operation, and is member of the board of directors of Performance Design Incorporated, a small Boise-based manufacturing company. Little has also been involved in a variety of private organisations and companies based in Idaho and the Mountain West. So he's got a lot of money in the area. Former chairman of Idaho Association of Commerce and Industry, the voice of business in Idaho. Former director of Idaho Wool Growers Association and the University of Idaho Foundation. You know, this is not going to be a direct link to anything. I'm not going to suddenly say something related directly to Brian Koberger here, but it's just getting sort of an idea of the place that the crime occurred, really, and the people that are running the place. It seems some like real blurred lines, like the blurred lines between the police and the university just seem they're a bit, well, not too involved, but I personally would say too involved, but just seem very involved. What else are here? So those are all his committee assignments. Anyway, there he is again. Right. Legislation. In 2014 legislative session, Little sponsored Senate Bill 1354, an anti-patent troll bill. The bill protects companies from abusive or bad faith assertions of patent infringement. Little was also a member of 2011 Idaho trade delegation that travelled to Mexico and Brazil. After the trade mission, he said, "We found tremendous interest and opportunities in both countries for Idaho products and services. The trip strengthened key trade relationships and established new customers for Idaho businesses." Little won the Idaho Republican Party primary, beating both US Representative Rahul Labrador. I've come across him when I've been looking at all this, and businessman Tommy. Can't even see that's an I or an L. Get the old glasses on again. Tommy Alquist. And then in the general election in November, he defeated Paulette Jordan of the Democratic Party. Here we go. He gained attention for signing 2 bills into law that address transgender people. The first bans transgender women from competing in women's sports, citing possible unfair physical advantage. The second bill, HB 509, bans transgender people from changing the sex on their birth certificates. In 2021, Little signed legislation that raised signatures. Here we go. The wolves. In 2021, Little signed legislation that raised signature requirements for ballot initiatives. That year, he also signed legislation that would permit harvesting up to 90% of the state's estimated 1,500 wolves to the minimum level of 150. I'm really surprised that I didn't know there were so many wolves about. As set by Idaho Wolf Conservation and Management Plan. Are they actually a danger to people, these wolves? Like, as in, I don't know whether they are somewhere that humans are traversing if they're not hunting. The legislation was backed by the ranching sector of Idaho as well as many in hunting and fishing community, but strongly opposed by environmental advocates. Right, personal life. Right, don't have too much there. He's got 2 sons and 5 grandchildren. He's married to Teresa Sulan. Okay, anyway, it's not really about him. So this guy, I've just found this. I don't know anything about it, so just take it. You have to just listen and see what you think, and we'll just have a listen, and everybody can think what they want to think. This is to Governor Brad Little, who we've just seen, regarding corruption in Idaho justice systems. So, yeah, it's Ken Halquist who created this campaign, and I'm assuming he wrote this as well. And I think he's pretty cross because it's all in capitals. Idaho, stop incarcerating your citizens for false charges, especially domestic cases statewide, mainly Ada County, which is where Boise is. Why is this important? Well, we'll find out. Wrongfully accused of a felony I did not commit, my child was restricted from me in the most unconstitutionally incorrect manner. The WCA has done this to hundreds of men and unconstitutionally destroyed families. These people need to be exposed for what and who they truly are. So sound off. Now is your time. If Idaho has wronged you, and you know me, Ken Halquist, and you know me, Ken Halquist, or served time with me for Idaho's corruption and unconstitutional ways, then I am wanting to hear from you all. Otherwise, unfriend yourselves off my social media sites immediately, because by not standing up for what your actual rights are and not the lies they feed us, I want no part of people who will not fight for their constitutional rights. Men have died for your constitutional rights, and you now can make things happen by signing this petition and targeting that corrupt state that wronged us all. Stand up now. Not every judge in Idaho is corrupt, but the corrupt ones definitely sway the fair ones' decisions daily. Let's be heard. Go viral with this, and we can make your state a better place, like it was before your private prisons and fat politicians with their deep pockets made it. We are numbers on the stock market, make no mistake about it. Private prisons in the state of Idaho are flourishing. It is big, big business. Even our president knows about Idaho and its corrupt legal or lack of legal system. More like Idaho has the largest prison population in all United States territories per capita population. Are we that afraid to expose these real criminals? Stand up right now. I did time with a lot of wronged men. There are women wrongly incarcerated in Idaho too. I want to hear your voices, everyone, families of loved ones, locked up for profitable gains. End this madness now. God bless you all. Okay, and we've got some comments here. So people have signed and given their reason for signing. So Elizabeth E. in 2022, in September 2022, the entire governing body of Bannock County is infected with corruption. Stand up and fight back for your constitutional rights. Brian P. In May 2022, my brother is in jail over some real loose accusations, no evidence. He's trying to fight the charges, so they keep moving him from prison to prison, including a 6-week stay in SeaTac, where they treated him worse than anyone can imagine. Every day is a violation of his civil rights. And again, no evidence that there's a crime, just some BS Facebook accusations. Alan P. May, same day, 2022, could be related. Family member has been released on bail twice for the same charges, to then be arrested by the feds for the same charges and held without bail. They have been beaten in prison by the guards and quickly transferred out of state and denied visitation. This person is not a prisoner, merely a ward of the state, while awaiting trial, but has been treated as a criminal. The entire time, no trial date has been set. Rights to a speedy trial has been, in effect, denied. I'll put this in the description if anybody does want to sign or wants to read it. Okay, I'll finish a video that I had started and didn't have time to finish, regarding a young man who is in prison and hasn't committed a crime, but he's in prison because of his mental health. So that's quite an interesting one to read following this one.